we have already started reporting on TCFD. If you were to look at our sustainability report in 2021-22, we have mentioned that. We also mentioned climate risk scenario, on our portfolio. But I think before there was no clear guideline as to how should we report, how much to report. But now you have seen the ISSB, the International Sustainability Standard Board, has introduced two new standards, S1 and S2, S1 on materiality and S2 on climate reporting. So I think now we have a better understanding of how should we report. If we were to follow the international standard on S1, then we have to think about our material items, which we have been doing over time. If we were to look at our reports on materiality matrix, we have identified from different stakeholders, internally and externally, what are the key material items that affect, the cost of capital, the cash flow of our companies. And then on the climate risk, we also think about different scenarios. For example, when we constructed the Henderson building right from the outset, we have to think about the typhoon scenario. We go well beyond the normal standard. We have to assume very extreme scenario and whether the windows will be broken or not. And of course, we have done that, with great effort, and you have seen in real life that all the windows were not broken at all. And also we did flooding scenario because we have this big project going on by the Central Harbourfront outside of IFC. Of course, we have to think about what if sea level rise by certain percentage or certain heights in meters, then is it going to affect our car park? We have to think about the existing IFC drainage system. We have constantly improved the drainage system. Hence, even though that there was heavy rain, there was no flooding, to our car parks. So all these, we have done a lot of scenarios before, and they are proven to be very effective, in terms of dealing with extreme weather. So I would say, whether the financial reporting side is sufficient or not, at the moment, I think we have been given some timeline to work on. And I think the other tricky part will be on scope 3 emission that I mentioned earlier. And imagine, we have so many projects going on at Henderson. We have to think about our upstream and downstream activities. Upstream, such as purchase of capital goods. Downstream, will be like tenants' usage of energy. We have to, work with our tenants, work with our partners to get all those information. Even though that if they are willing to work with you to provide you with the information, how confident are you in assuring those numbers are accurate and complete? Therefore, we have to run scenario analysis and do reasonableness check as well. So I think these are relatively new to, everybody. So they have to be educated over time. And that's why we do a lot of educational session. When we think about sustainability, not only do we work with our partners, but we go one step further. For example, at the Henderson, we have introduced last year, a program, which is probably the first in Hong Kong, which is called the LEAD program, ESG program, LEAD being LIT. L obviously stands for landlord, T stands for tenant. So it's not just cooperation between the two of them, but also we introduce a third element, which is individual employees of the companies. So the three of us have to work together, to achieve, sustainability and on energy saving or any health and wellness issue. If they do well, we have an apps to capture their activities and reward them with Henderson coins, and then they can use it in our shopping malls and so on. And also we will be able to provide them with real-time ESG data so that they will be able to capture, all those data for their reporting purposes. So the idea is, try to work together, rather than doing everything on your own.